So guys, welcome back to the tutorial. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a motion graphic welcome intro text like this. So without further ado, so let's get started. So you already know, I already have my composition. It's a 1920 by 1080p. I'm going to create in a solid and then add in the let me just name this element. I'm just going to do it like elements. And then next thing I want to do is add in the elements plugin. This is a toolbar plugin, like we've already talked about this before. So I will need to add in my text, like new text. You can add that from top. Let me just scale this down a little bit. I'm just gonna say Victor's motion. I'm gonna scale this down and then make this fit, because I think I must have touched this the other time. Yes, and then here we go. Got a good one here. So the next thing you need to do is just add in the text to the custom layer. So get this and then select the Victor's motion. I'm gonna be turning this off because we don't need this anymore for now. So go over to the elements scene setup. Sorry about, I'm just trying to clear out my throat. So we've got the environment, everything looks good and clean. The next thing you have to do is click on extrude. So we've got the victim's motion here. So basically we can actually select one of these bevels, but no, I don't want to use any of this. I want to get a customized text by myself. So the next thing I want to do is come over to this text, the extrude model, and then click on this part that says bevel copy. I need 2 bevel copies. So the first one I need it to be, let's go over to the materials. I think physical. No, don't need that. Let's go to material and physical. I need this red color. So now if you can look at this, you can notice some kind of whitish stuff. This is because this extruded model has 2 texture. It has the red and white. The white is what you're actually seeing. So we're trying to make out the one we actually saw on the video I say we're gonna make. So I need to make this outside one red and then the inner one yellow. So I'm gonna be making this other one the yellow. Let me go over to the physical. If I have any yellow, okay, there's no yellow here. So what I'm going to do is select the text. I'm going to also add this red to it. But now I'm going to go over to this second one which I selected, the bevel copy 2, and I'm going to change this from the diffuse color to yellow. Yeah, we've got yellow now. So the next thing I want to do is I want to make this whole thing look big. Go back up. I need yellow to be at the front of it, so I'm going to be scaling this up a little bit, the extrude. Okay, and I'm going to make the red smaller. I'm going to take this extrude smaller and then take this to the middle. Okay, increase the size a little bit. You can see that it's some changes are now being occurring. So let me take this level depth. This is the offset. Let me take it out. I need it to be at the middle. Okay, yeah, so we got something nice and good looking now. So I actually have a clutch rope right now. So yeah, we got something that's quite looking good a little bit. If you can zoom closer, you can take more look at this whole thing, the edges. This whole thing, the edges, they do a lot of stuff. So let me just say for the yellow, I want to go over to the part of the expand edge. You can see it's actually working and see what it's doing. So you can actually take a time to go through all this stuff if you want to go through it. But this is just for the sake of tutorial. I'm just going to be fast and detailed about some parts of this whole thing. Okay, as you can see it. So yeah, we got a nice one here. So now we've got the Victor's motion. So we might want to also add a nice environment to make everything look shiny. Let me add from the normal environment basic. I think I need this one. I need something that will make it look a little bit more bright than before. let's just use, okay, this would be good enough. So I'm going to come over to the environment and then increase the brightness a little bit. So yeah, we've got a bright text now. Wow. If you also want to increase the reflectivity of this whole thing, there are a lot of stuff you can actually do here. The reflectivity and a lot of stuff. You can actually increase this to make it look more reflective, but I'm not going to be doing that, so let me just take this down back. So we just need to do a simple welcome intro. So now, yeah, we got this now. So now, as you can see this now, it's actually just here. Sorry, it's actually just here looking at us. It doesn't look like a 3D section right now. So the next thing we're going to do is add in a camera. So here we go. Make sure it's the 2-node camera. I like leaving it at 50 mm. So now we need to add in a background. So I'm going to right click, new solid. I'm going to name this as BG, so background. Take it underneath the element, make sure it's underneath this. So we still got something like this. So now come over back to your effects and then type out this gradient ramp, GRADI, and then ramp. This is it on your element layer. Change this from linear to radial ramp, and then bring this one here to the middle, and then this to the side. Now change the one at the top to a light blue or any of the color which you prefer. I don't know what you might prefer. Then change this one into purple. Make it dark purple. So we might also still work on this to make it just a little bit light, yellowish. Let's just make this a little bit light blue. Sorry, back in the background. Then this on the second side. And if you take this part a little bit more, sorry. So I think this is good enough for this. So yeah. So the next thing we want to do is to animate the text. So let's take the camera a little bit closer. Select the camera, then press C on your keyboard. Press C to change it to the zoom. Okay, now this is the zoom. So this is a little bit closer to it now. The next thing we want to do is animate the camera, the text. So go over to the text and then come over to your group, because everything's under group 1. Come over to your particle replicator. And then down here, okay, it's particle look, sorry. And then select multi-object, click on this. So first, I think we need to move with the position of this text. A lot of stuff we need to do here. So first, I'm going to be animating the position of this, the Z position, which is this. So I want it to be here. So I'm going to click on view. Sorry about this. So this is Z position. Click on the stopwatch, open your stopwatch, and then take this to the part. I'll have to take this to the beginning. This is the first keyframe, this which is supposed to be the last, because this is where I want it to be. We need to be. Let me just take it to this point at the end. So I'm going to be taking this off the screen. So if I should play this now, this is what you get. So this is what you get when you animate something like that. Wow, so it's good looking. It just says Victor's motion. So this is actually looking really good, but we need to make it look more classic, more animations to this. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is adding a rotation to this. Since we've already turned on the multi-object, we need to go down to this under the multi-object, slide down, and then I think we need to work on the rotations. Yeah, this is exactly what we need. So click on this rotation, and then I already turned on the stopwatch, so I'm going to press U on my keyboard now, and then take this part to the beginning, because the beginning, the end is when everything gets back to normal. So the beginning is when everything is been scattered. So let me take it here so we can actually see this. I want to distort this a little bit so everything is looking distorted. So this would be how it looks like. So I'm going to be taking this to the beginning. So when it plays, this is what you get. You get something like this. Remember, at the beginning it's distorted, everything is scattered, and then while it's going, because of the keyframe command here, it's actually going to get back to normal. You can see it, and then wow, and then here we got something nice now. You can see it, it's all looking good. But this is not how I want it to end though. We need to make more animation to make it look really good. So this is why we're taking it to this part. So we need to add more animation to this. So let me check on the scatter. You can add in whichever one you prefer to add into. I'm just going to be doing something out of my own randomness. I'm just going to be doing something with it just to make it look more, a little more crazy, and you know, just to make it look more fantastic. I might use this. Okay, this is looking good a little bit. So remember, the beginning is always scattered, and then the end. So any scattering you make, take it to the beginning, and then change this back to 0, because 0 is the normal default state of it being normal. So I need displacement to, you need to be a little bit of space. Remember, everything is 0 at default, so I'm going to be checking this a little bit, and then 0, press U on my keyboard, and then this is scattered in the beginning, and then the end, taking it back to 0. And here it's good enough. Okay, sorry, let me take this. Sorry. Yeah. So if I should play this now, it's like multiple animations in one thing. You can see it now how good it is looking. Wow, 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 wow. See how it's looking? It's looking. This is just a 3 seconds animation. Everything is on point and just there. So see how it goes now. Wow. See, it's just it. Wow. But this is still not looking that cool. Everything. So now the next thing we want to do now is to add in more animations to this to make it look more. If you want to add in more and more to this, you can also choose to scatter this whole thing. You can see it, it's getting scattered, and then at some point it's getting messed up. You can see it. I'm going to be using this last one to it. Let me use on this last one, scatter as aim. You can see some of the text are going back and front. Remember, the scattering is always at the beginning. That's where we put all the scattering points. Press U on your keyboard, press it again. This is the keyframe. Make sure you always turn on the stopwatch from the top here, and then take it back to 0. 0 is always the default. And once I create that keyframe, you see it creates here, and then I take it back to this point. So this is what we got now. So if you should play now, you can see something like this. Now we got something like this. Wow. So now we got something cool here. Now we need to make that wiggle effect that it does when it lands, like it just flings. That make it look like it's just hits the wall and then it bounces. So for this, let me make it, once it hits the wall, you need to make in some adjustments to this part, like the if you can come down here, there's actually a deform settings. It says twist, bend, noise, deform. So if you could, let me just show you what this does. This does a lot of stuff though. This does a lot of stuff. So, but we're not going deep down into this. So to make that effect, you actually see we have to go down to, just slide down under the element, slide down to deform, and then click on twist. Make sure the twist is enabled. And then so once it gets this part, this is the part, once it hits this part, then we have to enable the twists. Your keyframe on, make sure you press U on the keyboard and press that again. Take this a little bit to the side. I'm going to be dragging everything so I can have enough space to do this. So this is it, and then this is the part we'll twist it a little bit. And then now you can actually come over here and then make this back to normal, but I just want to make it much easier. Just select this keyframe here and then press Ctrl C on your keyboard. The one in blue is one that's been highlighted, and then move over forward and then press Ctrl V to paste that. So you can see it. So this is it now. You can see how it looks. So that's how I did that animation that makes it look that way. So you can also add more to this, more animation to this with everything you actually see. I'm just showing how to make a basic animation on this one. So that's how it's good looking on the end part of it. So this is it on the end part of it. So now another thing you need to do is to make sure the animations are actually really good looking. So let's say it comes in really fast. I need to make this also good looking. So I'm going to be selecting every keyframe at the end of this and then taking this close to the edge a little bit. So let's say this fascination and comes in closer, and then now you see every keyframe here. I'm going to be selecting from the top. Just hold your left mouse button and then slide down everything. Now it has created another keyframe. You can see everything has been created here. I'm going to be deleting this last one because this is the one for the twist. I'm not sure we need this. Deleting this last one here. Make sure you guys are actually paying attention to this. So I'm going to be taking every last part of this and then I'm going to be dragging this. This is going to make the end animation look really smooth. So right click on this and then keyframe assistant and then easy this. So if I should play this now, this is how it looks like. Let's wait for it to preview. So as you can see how it goes fast and then it gets to this point and then it slows down. Wow, you see it. This is how it really looks to make everything look good. You can see how it looks. So now let's say this is the part where this is actually ending part. So let's say we want to add in multiple camera animations to this to make it look all good, all fantastic. So I'm going to be increasing the timeline. Let me come up back to the top, composition, and then let me increase this to about 10 seconds to make everything look really good. So I'm going to be just selecting everything, drag everything to the right, and then increase this again to the beginning. If I should press U on my keyboard, you should see where all our keyframe animations, you can see it. So for this beginning part, I'm going to be splitting this in two so this does not affect our work. So this is the element layer. Okay guys, this is where the part it comes in and then it stays on. So I'm going to be splitting this in two just because I don't want to affect this. And I'm going to press Ctrl Shift and D. This is me splitting the element layer in two, and then I'm going to go back to the beginning and then press this. Now there are two element layer guys. This is the first one and this is another one. So this one at the beginning, I'm going to press U on my keyboard, and then you see every keyframe animation we did. I'm going to be shutting everything down. I don't want to use any keyframe on this one because this part I just want to use the camera animations to make it look good like the one you saw at the beginning. So I'm going to be go back to the Z position because that's what we did that made the whole thing moved from the scene. So okay, and then I'm going to be taking this back to, for the rotation, I'm going to be taking this back to 0 because that's what's making this whole thing look bent. It's a bit, adjust everything back to 0 0 0 0. There's the other ones which we have to make turn to 0, still 1 0. We don't want any scattering or anything, so we have to take everything back to 0. I think it's looking a little bit good. I think there's still one more thing we haven't changed. I don't know where that is, but wherever you are hiding, I think that should be it. So now I'm going to be using the camera animations for this first part. This is what we were supposed to first do, but since we've already done it at the beginning, so I'm going to be making, since this part is just 4 seconds, I'm going to be making a 2 seconds animation on this whole thing. So I'm going to be at this part where we split the element layer. I'm going to be pressing Ctrl Shift D on just the camera layer just to split the camera into 2. Okay, so now we're just going to be working on this. So for the first 2 seconds, I'm going to be making an animation to this. So I'm going to be pressing P on my computer. So for the beginning part, so we're going to be using this way the camera animation. So we're going to be animating at least 2 seconds for the first part and then 2 seconds for the second one. So we just have to find a way which we prefer. Let me just using one of these ways, and then let's say at the beginning I want to take this a little bit more closer, so I have to use the zooming key, press C, and then look at this. So let's say the first animation should be this way, You can actually make something more professional than this. This is just for the sake of tutorial and timing. So just trying to make something, just showing you guys how you can actually do this. So let's say for the first video of the camera, you can actually go through this. Let's just take this a little bit less. So press P on your keyboard, make sure you're on the camera layer, and then click the stopwatch and move at least 2 seconds in some frame, and then you can actually choose any way you want to go. I can animate it this way, and then also zoom it closer, closer, and then take this up a little bit. So if I should play this one now, this is what you get. You can see it moving into the you can see it's moving inwards. So yeah, that's one part. And then for the next one, you can actually change this to something else. One frame after the keyframe, just one frame forward by pressing press down, and then Control Shift D. And then I'll have to take this other layer a little bit forward, not so it does not affect it. Extend the element layer. And then on this other part, we'll need another camera animation. Turn on the position of this and turn it back on. So I need to select another part of this. Sorry. Let me zoom out to this. So I want to select from the top. I might want to take a closer zoom at this. You can see how reflective it is. And then let me say it gets to this point, I might want to change the view. Views up to this other end. I'm just making a camera animation that's not that cool. Okay guys, you guys can make something much better than this. Okay, I'm just doing something which is just for the sake of time. This is not that cool. let me look for another angle to pin this. So it zooms in from this point and then comes down here. Then it zooms out. It might take you some time to understand the essence of the camera and how to animate the camera. That's not a problem, okay? Everybody has a learning process. So just take your time to go through this to make sure you understand. There's a lot of stuff you can actually understand from the camera. So as you can see, this is something you actually come up with. It's not that good looking though, but with the essence of that, you can actually see how it was made. You can actually see the animation that's being made on the camera and the motion effect. You can actually see this first phase and then the other phase, and then it goes to the animation. Now you might be wondering, how do you parent this together? How this whole thing gets to be parented together? Okay, so this is the first way, and then the second one, and you can actually make more animations to this position, and then come over to this part. I need to make something much more better than that one which you saw. So let's say for this other, I'm going to be rotating the element layer. So I'm going to come down to this element layer, and then I'm going to also split this again by pressing Ctrl Shift and D. And it's getting really tedious, right? So I'm on this layer, I'm going to be rotating the layer of the objects. I'm going to be rotating this, so it rotates. So I'm taking this to this other way. So I'm going to be animating this. So this is an animation from the element, not from the camera. Okay, so I'm going to be clicking the stopwatch here, and then taking this to this end, and then spinning this up the other way around, or the other way like this. So element has to the camera. Now this is the animation I made from the camera. It zooms everything, you can see it, that's actually rotating, and then whoop. So this is one. So we got like two camera animations here. The first one is one that moves from left to right. We can actually animate another one for just the text while the camera moves around it. But basically we don't want to do all this motion animation because we already got a lot of stuff here. You can actually do that on your free time to get to know more about these animations and stuff. So for this, I'm going to trim this to this edge so I can easily merge everything together so it looks really good. So the next one is this. Select this and then take it to join to this. So after this you get something like this. So this is how I was able to make the Victor's animation or Victor's motion that you just seen. You actually seen just so easy. Everything was actually done from the Element 3D stuff, just like that. That was how I was able to make the effect work and everything. I can actually take this more closer to this. Oh, and also forget to add up to this guy. Yeah, you can also walk through this other part. There are a lot of stuff here. You can see it says bevel, back cover, bevel outlines and texturing. I think it's a texture, and also you can also take time to go through it. So for this, we need to make this stuff a little bit more reflective. So the yellow color, I'm going to select yellow color and then move down a little bit to the reflectiveness of this. So I'm gonna, if you look, just take a look at the yellow color. So I'm gonna increase the intensity of the reflectivity a little bit. You can see if I should take this to the end, you can see it's also on silver, but no, you just need to be a little more reflective. I think this is good enough. Okay, this is good enough. And then the glossiness also has to do with reflectivity. If I should take this up, you can see it's now very reflective as more than before. We also need to do this to the red. So we need to increase the glossiness a little bit, then take it up a little bit. So as you can see, it's now a little bit more reflective, now looking like a metal, not a plastic. So let's also increase the reflectivity intensity here, and this should be good enough. So if we should check this now, this is how it looks now. It looks really more reflective and more attractive. And also one last thing I'd like to add to the render to make it look really good is also a good lighting. So there are actually different kinds of lights. I'm going to be adding the spotlight to it. I might use the parallel, but I'm just going to add the spotlight, put it in at this point. The spotlight should only just be on this last frame though. I don't want it to be at every part of it because it's going to look it might look too bright because of where I increased the brightness. So this is how it looks like. So you can see this is how it looks like. It looks really bright and fashionable. So this is how it looks. Amazing. But on this other part it looks too bright, so I'm not going to be adding this to this other part. I might decrease the brightness of this other part. So let me just move over to this part, Control Shift and D on the light layer, and then come back to the beginning. This part where it's too bright, double click on the light layer, and then reduce this a little bit down. Reduce this down. I think this should be good enough. Click OK, and then here we go. So this goes good on this part. This part looks a little bit, let me shut down this so you see how it looks. Oh, this part's still good though. For the last part, this is how it looks like. Wow, you can see like actually coming from this top, like it's actually a sunrise thing, and then wow, it's looking all beautiful. So now
So now let's get on to the export.
So as you guys can see, this was how I was able to make this whole thing work out, to make this motion. You can see the keyframes here. I had to split the element layer into 3 parts. Yours might not be like this. Okay, I just had to split the element layers and camera layers, so everything will be easy. So every camera animations will be on different layer, and every rotation I make, every element animation I make, are also on different layer. So guys, that's it for this part. So on the next part, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can actually convert your logos into logo animations and 3D stuffs and everything. That's going to be another long whole process to it. So let's get on to the next part.